Check it out. I brought some singers with me, right? They call the artists of war. They're gonna sing, but before they do that, I'm gonna do this. Check it out. Watch me haters, watch me later. See, I'm 4 times 10 plus, so watch my gators. I'm God's twin, made in this image, my friend. You can Snapchat on me all day. My life matters to him. Let's go, Maya.
Can't believe the report of man. 'Cause it's designed to take you off God's plan. Cancer tried to take mom away, but I prayed, I praised, and now she's free. My life matters to you, Lord. My life, oh, it may not matter to you, but my life, oh, matters to you and only you, Lord.
Speak to him, Mike.
People dying in the street 'cause the color of their skin. So busy hating one another. Can't you see we're brothers and we don't matter to them? I know it sounds hopeless. Trust, I've got good news. Your life is precious in his eyes and he will help you get through.
Talk to him, Sharice.
You may think it's over, but it's not. Life can't seem to get you down. So much depression and you're feeling suicidal. Know that he can turn your life around. You may seem alone like you don't matter to some. Don't take your life 'cause you're not done. The best is yet to come. My life matters to you. My life, my life matters to you and only you, Lord.
Your cherry.
Young people, put away the guns and please just walk away. Have a healthy conversation and hope to see another day. We have to live together. We have to love each other. Because in the end, we're all we've got.
Pull you down now.
Control your mind now.
Can't let him hurt you.
'Cause he buys you nice things.
Can't let him
Beat you down now. Trust in the Lord and you love yourself even more. My life
to you, Lord. My life
oh, yeah, yeah, my life
matters to you, but
my life, it matters to you, Lord, and only you.
In his image and in his likeness, you and I were created masterfully, wonderfully, and fearfully. He made us with plans for a future that included every man, every woman, every boy, and every girl. You see, with God, no one was ever excluded from his world. He said, love thy neighbor as we love ourselves. That means black man, white man, and everyone else.
It's the world famous Swag in the Morning. I'm your brother Prince Creed.
And I am Lady D.
All right, lady, tell the folks what swag means, queen.
Swag means say with amazing grace.
And morning do not mean daytime. It means new hope, new beginning, freedom from being in the darkness. We about to bring some light right now. We have an amazing guest. World famous. Yeah, I said it in my Mr. Magic's voice. And if I don't say it, you won't say it. Believe that. I gotta say shout out to all those cowboy fans. Now look, I'm a Cowboys fan, so what I mean by this shout out is that I don't care we lost. It was a good loss. I know that sounds crazy. People say, how can somebody have a good loss? Okay. Yeah, I can deal with that loss because we actually beat ourselves.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Shout out to Dak Prescott for being back after a crazy injury. He's back, and he's still one of the top quarterbacks. Shout out, black quarterbacks.
Really?
I said it that way. Okay. I'm excited, Lady D. Today is Thursday. I'm not gonna lie, I was shaking all morning until baby girl landed. I'm not gonna lie.
It's all right. She got there safely. I told you she was gonna be good. Don't worry about it.
I know that. It's just a dad thing, man. I was like,
dad thing. Okay, I get it.
That's my baby girl on the airplane.
Okay.
First time by herself. So shout out to Darcel Franklin. Love her.
She did it.
She always there.
Always
she get on my nerves, but today I didn't think about getting on my nerves. She was like my favorite person on the entire planet.
So then that made it a good day. So it turned
out
a
good day.
Absolutely.
Big up to everybody out there in Hampton Roads. My Life Matters is coming September the 25th to the Hampton Roads, Virginia. It's landing in Virginia Beach.
Yes.
At the Walton Center inside of Union Baptist Church. It is going down at, I'm going to open the doors. We're going to open the doors a little early so that people can come in and meet and greet the vendors and the sponsors. We got some special sponsors that's going to be there with some material to hand out. So it's a fellowship gathering, and then the play is going to go down. Whenever the vibe's right, I'm going to go take stage and we're going to do this amazing ministry that's different.
I'm excited.
It's for everybody, man. It's not boxed in. It's not for just gospel. It's for R&B. It's my hip hop fam. Shout out to Daddy O Kareem from Stetson Sonic lending me his song PTSD. That's my big brother. So shout out to him for that love, and Big Les for doing the video drop for us. Lady D, Les always come through. I said, Les, I need a video.
Always.
And bang, she don't do the cameo stuff. Send me a cash app. That's my sis for a while, man. So shout out to Big Les. Love you. I love her.
Awesome. I'm excited about the play. I'm excited to see what's going to happen, how things are going to go down. I've been watching from behind, and it is incredible. It is incredible. So I'm excited. It's always different. The play is always different. There is not one My Life Matters that was the same. The only consistent person and or two people are you and the lead character, and I'm telling you, you guys do an awesome job every time. But these people that you've added on,
oh my God,
I am so excited. I can't wait to just see it and just sit back and see it for its in its entirety, to see how it's all gonna go down.
Can I, Shamonique Sharice has been rolling with me again. It's about my headphones and her cell phone. That's the play is about.
Right.
I'm just gonna leave it like that. It's about a pair of headphones and a cell phone. Her cell phone, my headphones, and it brings things to life. So I'm gonna just say that. And Sharice hit me up and is like, yo, I'm excited. I love this cast. And so we center people around us. We find people, and the thing about My Life Matters, it's based on true stories surrounding suicide, mental health,
right,
PTSD, bullying, domestic violence, and those things. Not in that order, but it's based on that. We're actors of truth,
right,
and we are being on the stage. We're being very transparent. So it's nerve-wracking sometimes for me, watching the new people when they come and say, okay, I want to do this. Where's my lines? And I said, they are in your head. And so they looking at me, lady, like Kim Griffin. I love her. She has a story that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that she said, I like the happy part of me telling my story. So that let me just put a disclaimer out there. This is a dark situation when you talk about suicide, when you talk about mental health, domestic violence, bullying, PTSD. Those are dark subjects.
Right.
Racial injustice, dark subjects. However, the play is designed to bring life and light and fun to living. So we bring to a dark situation light,
right,
fun,
right,
And you're going to see it. We're not glorifying. We just having fun doing things. Like last night rehearsal was fun.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do on the stage. Shout out to Linda J. Just these people just popping in. Kathy been my prayer warrior, and she's bringing the extra thunder now. Like I didn't even know if that was Catherine or her twin. Like I really, she always had that energy. She's the hype man. She's the hype woman of My Life Matters. When she comes out, it's just get up. It's gonna make the whole crowd. And also, lady, I'm gonna tell people who bought tickets, you are part of the cast. I'm just gonna say that right there.
That's all I'm saying.
You are part of the cast. You're part of the cast.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
The intervention, lady. Dude.
Yeah, I love I love the fact that the name of it is the intervention, because she's been the artist of war and she's been trying to stay alive, and now here comes help, and not that it wasn't help coming to her, but it's just in a different way. It just shines a different light. And I must say that I remember someone making a statement, that we were trying to glorify suicide. We were trying to glorify what was dark. And, at first it bothered me.
I know.
It bothered me that people would even think that. But then I realized that, some people just don't simply understand. And this is why it's still so dark, because nobody wants to shed light on the situation. So, I learned to just overcome that and understand that, there's a lot of people. There are more people than we know who are contemplating suicide, who have thought about suicide in some way or another. And the reason being is because, nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about death. Nobody wants to talk about it.
Not at all.
But I am so glad that we have the opportunity to be able to shed light on it and let you know that, there are dark times in life. There are dark moments. We have our down moments. But in the midst of that, if you can find a little bit of happiness, if you can find something small just to ride on, that you'll be amazed at what, how your life can turn out. So, the fact that we're glorifying suicide is absolutely not true, but we're shedding light on it and letting people know that there is another way.
That's right.
There is another way, and we're here to help you find it.
I love it. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
No problem.
Because it bothered me, because I'm not exploiting my own auntie,
right,
Susie. This is in honor of her. I'm not saying this to try to ride off Ronnie Bethune's name. Was a friend of mine, one of my big bros growing up in the projects in Patterson.
Right.
And Maverick, who took his life, who jumped off the Great Falls. I'm not glorifying. Yeah. I'm not trying to capitalize off of that.
Right.
That's my aunt.
Right.
I was in that studio locked up, contemplating taking my own life.
That's right.
So I'm not here trying to glorify this. I'm trying to be transparent, tell you my story, and say, look at me.
That's it.
Look at me.
That is it.
And so I can imagine what a lot of people, we're the voice for the victims, man. Whether somebody's going through domestic violence, whether someone's a bully like Mackenzie Adams, the little young girl, this step 7, these young people that took their lives at an early age due to bully side, we're the voice for those victims.
That's right.
And so if we don't bring their names to the stage, Donnie Hathaway, Don Cornelius, Darren Lighty, my man, look, a lot of y'all forgot Darren Lighty's, I had the pleasure to work with him back when we were on Profile Records. So these people they not here anymore.
Right.
You understand? And the list goes on, and Phyllis Hyman, and it goes on and on. You may know somebody. So I'm the voice for the victims, whether someone got beat up, whether someone, went through domestic violence or some racial injustice. This is what My Life Matters. My Life Matters is a vehicle that speaks about current events through song and dance, through ministry, through music.
Right.
And it's all about the playlist and the headphones.
That's it.
Lady, I'm excited right now because I know this brother that we're going to bring on right now, I'm going to let him talk about his book, the title of his book, and all of that good stuff. And but let me say, I love when I see these independent authors, brothers, just shining,
Yeah.
just shining, just shining. Put your hands together for Mike, my brother, Mike.
Yes.
Mike, come on to the stage, my brother.
Lynk.
Lynk. It's World Famous Swag in the morning. Got my brother, Mike Lynk, ML. Almost like Martin Luther, but it's Mike Lynk in the building on the swag. What's up, Mike? How's it going, my brother? How's it going, King?
It's going good, man. It's going good. How y'all doing?
Man, we hanging out, and I said
Yes.
Martin, right? And he got check out his shirt out, Lady D. Check his shirt out. Martin, Malcolm, they're good.
Yes.
Cedric, and me. Get some hand claps on that one. I was just saying, man.
I love that. I love to see that because we a lot of times feel like we don't fit in. We don't, we can't put our names. We don't see our names with the big folks, right? But that me down there,
Love
there's
that.
him, this is him, and it's me.
It's me.
And I'm in the crowd,
That's huge.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So, Mike, how's it been going, man, since the pandemic, man? How you been holding out?
Me personally, it's been cool. It hasn't been an emotional toll like you hear some people go through. I would say as far as like work or anything, I haven't missed a beat, and that may be due to the type of work that I do. I work for myself, so fortunately, I was in a position to where it didn't impact me the way it impacted a lot of close friends and not so close people that I don't know, as far as like work and things like that. But I've been able to maintain and get through the pandemic, thankfully.
Wow. Listen, with all respect, and pardon me, it's been real hectic for me. I was meaning to get around and get the book, but I'm pretty sure I can pick up a copy once on September the 25th, if you have them on deck. Definitely want to look at that book, check the book out. I did a documentary called Definition of a Father Missing in Action, MIA. So I went around, I interviewed dads. I interviewed my own dad, my father-in-law, and my brother-in-law. I interviewed a lot of dads and got some perspective on that and about father and dad. What's the difference? And it was more like a 30-minute documentary I did. And so I want to talk to you about where your head was at when you wrote the book. And first of all, tell everybody who you are and the title of your book.
Who is Mike? In general, just a fun, easygoing guy. I try to put out positive energy. For those who know me and that are close to me, even as it relates to like the shirt that I got on, people know like where my heart is as it relates to like about how I feel about like my people, in general. And I'm a worker. I work hard. I take care of my family, and I like to enjoy myself, have fun. And that's just me in a nutshell. As it relates to my book, there's a lot that goes into where my head was when I decided to create this book, like your play, and certain things that will be in your play. My book has some elements of it. Suicide, that particular part, not specifically, but I do have two close friends that are not here with us anymore because they chose to, take their own life. So I can definitely relate to that particular aspect of what's going to be happening with y'all play. But also, just in reference to my book, my book has some elements of domestic violence in it. And, my father played a part in that. And, that's partially one of the reasons I wrote my book. It touches on that a little bit, but it was really more so about the relationship, like you said, and you talked about the missing in action. It was more about that, the impact that it had on me, but as well as having a voice for children and even adults, and the what we go through, but doesn't necessarily a light doesn't get put on it, and the emotional things that we go through, the obstacles that we face, the things that we don't learn because our fathers are not around us, and how do you learn to navigate life, learn to be a man, and also cope with, the trauma that you may go through, or the things that you may go through, with not having, your father in your life.
Wow. Hey, Mike, can you do me a favor?
Hmm.
Behind you is the book,
Yeah.
right? Can you grab it and bring it close? Is that possible?
So you want me to hold it up?
Yeah, I just want Lady D to see it.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I
Wow.
love it. I love it. We got
Awesome.
definitely get it. Definitely get it. I'm interested in reading it.
Listen, folks, y'all see it right there. You see him and his dad on this cover. Look at the names. Look at the title of the book. Listen, this is important that you support this artist, this author, and I'm excited. Thank you. I just wanted to bring that up, man, because I'm watching in the back. I'm looking at and I'm zoomed in on it, and I'm like, wow, amazing, man. That is amazing. Wow.
I want people to understand that, fathers are important. Parents are important, yes, but fathers are definitely important, and especially in, little girls' lives, and little boy, and our children's lives. So I have this thing about, the baby daddy, the baby mama. I have a thing about that because I often look at how, a lot of times we take the children, bitter mothers take the children and they put the children into that space, and I think it's so unfair. It's so unfair because the children didn't even ask for that, so all of the things that, play a part in the man or the father being missing, is not all on a father who doesn't, come around, or who does not play their part. I think women sometimes plays, a part in that. And I've seen it. And I just say to every man, that has stepped up, and to even to the men who have stepped up for children that are not theirs, I salute you, I salute you. And for the ones who are not stepping up, I really pray for them that you do, because we do have an impact on our children and how they turn out in life, believe it or not. So I'm ready to get the book and
Me
to,
too.
see
Me
what's in
too.
it,
Definitely. So, Mike, how are you and your dad's relationship now? Your dad's still amongst the living? Still
No,
here?
my dad actually has passed away. My It's probably been about a little over a year. Hasn't been that long. But before he passed, me and my dad fixed our relationship. The title of the book is F Father's Day, a story of reconciliation. And basically, um, upon me and my dad fixing our relationship, when the idea came about, I went to my father and I told him that I wanted to write a book and I wanted him to help me put the book together. And so me and him, we sat down, we talked about it. I shot some ideas at him. I sent them, a couple questions. I ran, things by him as I was, developing the book. And me and him ended up collaborating on creating the book because we knew that in the long run, just like your uh, wife just said, how important it is for fathers to be present, to be in their lives. And my father was, man enough and, took the stand and owned uh, his, his responsibility and not being around, and being there for me and my sister, and at the time, when him and my mother was married, and how all of that transpired and how they ended up separating and getting divorced. We went through that conversation. And in my book, it gives a lot of kind of detail into like how all that transpired. And I thought it was important to kind of put those steps in that story in the book, because it's like sometimes you never know why the father wasn't around. And I felt using our story and his absence and the reasons behind that, maybe somebody could relate. Maybe it might not be exactly the same, but maybe a father who's absent might get it in his hand and read it, and think about his own personal situation and why he's not around his children. And maybe it'll spark something to him to try to figure out if he could reconcile. Or maybe somebody who grew up like me in a single parent home will read it and say, you know what? At the end of the day, I only got one father. And maybe I might need to try and fix it, because I used to think to myself, if my dad did pass away, how would it impact me? And I think just in general, my relationship with God, and how, that helped me develop a softer heart towards him. It pushed me to take the first steps in fixing our relationship and going to him and letting him know how I had been impacted, what it was doing to me, and that we needed to fix it. So
It's awesome that you had the opportunity to, to get that straight. A lot of people, don't. And for your dad to step up and own his responsibility, I believe that also played a part in, the reconciliation, because you have to first own up, to what you haven't done, or, things like that. And then it makes it a little bit easier. So now you got over that hurdle. Now you can go on to the next hurdle and make those things work. So I wish that everybody would, think about that. Take that time to make those steps, because those steps are so critical. Yeah, what if you had not done that? Made that reconciliation before your dad, went on home. So I'm glad that you did it.
Yeah.
And I hope that somebody else will pick that up and even think about it, that, I need to fix that. Time is short. Time is running out. And, people are dying left and right, and unexpectedly. So
Yeah.
I'm
The
hoping that
power of
somebody,
forgiveness,
yeah,
man.
could
forgiveness
I
is
touch on that particular part? With you saying you hope that people take that step. I would say that step for me was very hard. My dad probably wasn't in my life for, almost close to 28, maybe a little over that years of my life he wasn't around. And personally, I recognized for myself that there was some damage there. There was some emotional things going on with me. There was some emptiness, and I knew that there was some things that I knew was like that was missing.
mhm,
And I needed to personally heal from them on my own. Even if me and my dad didn't fix our relationship, I knew that I needed to do some work on myself, because in a sense I learned, as I grew and started learning more about being a man, that at the end of the day I have to make my own decisions. And if I allow what had happened to keep for me to keep using it, or not necessarily using it, or allowing it to be a burden on me, then I would not be as um, successful as I have become if I would allow that to just keep harboring me from an emotional and mental standpoint. So I had to go do the personal work first, and figure out, why am I allowing these things to paralyze me or keep me stagnant?
right.
And I had to like heal from it. So I did that. Um, you know, uh, I in my book I talk about how I kind of went through like a 2-year cleanse of therapy, uh,
Uh-huh.
which y'all talk about like mental health and things like that. So I did that, and from there, the doors open. I got like a new look at kind of like life and myself and what I was going to be and what I was going to do in life. And from there, I just, I went to my pops, and it was almost like the way I approached the situation, it was good for him too, because there was no confrontation. There was no animosity at that particular point when I addressed like what was going on and the distance between us. And I just wanted to like fix it, and get past it.
Right. Right. I mean, like I said, it's so important that those things happen, and a lot of times it's so it's emotional. It's very hard
Yeah.
for people, but sometimes we just I feel like, and I'm not being insensitive, so I want everybody to understand this. I'm not saying, oh, just get over it and just do what you need to do. I'm not saying that. It's I know that everything is a process, and I have spoken with some people, and some young girls that I mentor along the way, and their fathers are not there. And what I say to them is that, you know what, I know your dad is not there, and I know that it's painful. However, sometimes I find, and for even, looking at some close family members, sometimes it's just not their time. And they were, I wish that my dad was here, but then do you really? Because sometimes it's dad being present could be a hindrance in your life at that time, and it's not that time for him to be there. And not everyone can be a dad, so they have to go through the things that they need to go through. That's not an excuse, because they chose to be a dad.
Right.
So it's no excuse that they're not here. But sometimes it is just better for your life at that particular time. And then when the time comes to heal it, when you both are ready, then I think it works out so much better. So I'm
Oh,
that.
oh man, like you hit it on the bullseye right there. I truly believe after all that me and my pops and my family went through, it was best that he wasn't around.
Yeah.
I believe that if he if he would have stayed around based on how he was living his life, it could have just got worse and worse. I come from a home of witnessing domestic violence between my father and my mother. And my book, for those people who struggle to make that step, or when you're saying it might not be the timing, and like you said, my father went through whatever he went through in his life and turned his life around. I did my own process of healing myself, and doing the work, and however it was designed, it came to a point where things aligned, and it was put forth before the both of us where things could be like worked out. And what I tried to do in my book is give people a solution to how I went about it. It's not the end all be all, but I tried to basically create, my book is like a workbook. It's not just my story, but I try to help people navigate through how to approach it, how to handle emotionally what they may be thinking and going through, and teach them a solution on how to like first address that, and then make the necessary steps to like have that breakthrough in order to even try to salvage a relationship with their father if they know who their biological father is.
Right.
So that's very key. People got to be ready, and I tried to create a book where it helps you to get ready,
Mhm.
to build that up, but initially you have to have the want and the desire to just make that initial step for yourself first.
Right. Right. I think it's important that, as you mentioned, that they not only be, when it comes to being ready, you have to be mentally ready, emotionally ready, because those things are taxing, and you want to pull back layers. And in that process of pulling back layers, it's just like, for me, I think of it as pulling off a band-aid. If that wound is still, if it's still open, and if it's still, sore, and it's still, just easily, easily, when you touch it, is easily painful, then you might not be ready. So you have to mentally prepare yourself, so that you can be able to, intake what you need to intake, put out what you need to put out, and do it in a manner that is going to be, right for everybody. So I think that's important as well.
I agree. You, Mike, you mentioned that your dad he's on the book with you as an author as
Yeah.
well. What's his background? Have he written a book in the past? So how was that? How comfortable he was in that scenery.
My dad in general, well, first, just to give y'all a quick little backstory, my dad was in my life from birth till I was about 12. And my dad was the type of person, he would do a lot of writing, do crossword puzzles, do poetry, write music, read books. He read a lot. And he would write a lot of different things like in notepads, but I never asked him, did he ever have a desire to be like a writer or anything like that? Because, he wasn't around, for a vast majority of my life. But um, it was something that just made me ask him, would you like to write a book with me? And I think he was just more happy the fact that his son was like, after all we've been through, like, man, you wanna create a book with me? And I was like, yeah. And maybe, I don't know, maybe he might have had a thought of like writing a book, but for me, I would tell myself, when it comes to grammar and things like that, I'm not like a great writer or anything. But the book was in me. I went through whatever I went through. God gave me, this light bulb moment. And let me show you guys something here. Um, this is the physical journal right here, and you can see how old it is and damaged and everything. But this is the physical journal that I created my book from, and that I wrote in, uh, and the journal that I gave my pops to read, and the questions that I have in there about everything that I was thinking, that I went through, and that I wanted him to like answer. And that was kind of like my approach to trying to figure out how are we going to fix things. God just gave me that idea. He was just like, you know write your feelings out, write how you're thinking, write your questions out in this book, and go give it to your dad. And after I did that, it was rough, and it took me a while to actually give it to him, but I ended up giving it to him. He went through it, and I think that particular approach and how I went about it was probably the best for the both of us, because it probably allowed him to go through stuff emotionally or whatever it is that he needed to. And I
Right.
knew my dad probably wanted a better relationship with me and my sister. Um, and from that particular point on, everything that he wrote in that book, we took little inserts from it, and put it in the book. At Father's Day, when people buy it and get it and they read it, they'll see some things that he wrote in there, that I incorporated in the book that came out of the journal, as well. And my goal was to have the book published. My dad ended up, getting sickly and things like that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to publish the book before he passed away, but I did promise myself, because he kept collaborated with me, that he was going to become an author, of the book, and be a first generation author, of his family and things, just as well as myself. So, and I actually released it on Father's Day of this year.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm blown away.
That's amazing to me, and it's very touching. Because you had that, you just had that chance to make it right. That chance to just, I mean, show him some love, because I'm sure that
Mhm.
that was a weight that had been lifted, and to just go back and to be able to write a book with you,
Right.
and to be able to share, those things. I'm sure that he was very
Yes.
happy, very happy with
Man,
that, because
redemption to the
yeah,
highest
that
level,
yeah, redemption at the
forgiveness
highest level.
to a
Yeah.
highest to the highest
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
I salute you, King, my brother. I salute your effort. I salute your steps. I salute your bravery. I salute your confidence,
Yeah. Yeah.
your obedience. I salute you, my beloved, that you took steps. The majority of the average person would have been on some and forget him.
Mhm.
Literally F Father's Day or F
Yeah.
my, but the concept of the book
And
means that that's your feeling, but
Right.
look at us now.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not even
Yeah.
about that day. You
Mhm.
understand? When I get from the book, I'm looking at F Father's Day. It's not about that day. It is
Mhm.
about the life of my
Yeah.
father, not
Yeah.
just that one day.
Mhm.
Because I'm not going to just focus on the day that they're telling us to celebrate. I'm
Yeah.
gonna celebrate him all day, every
Right.
day.
Right.
Even as a kid that didn't have him, I
Right.
still know how to celebrate him. So
Yeah.
God is going to truly bless you, your business and everything, because your obedience, man, because your obedience.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Proud of
Awesome.
you, King. I'm proud of you, bro.
And since you kind of brought that up and you kind of emphasized like the title, the EFF or the F, I believe a lot of us who grew up in single parent homes when our dad is absent and he's not active, we have that one particular emotion where we do feel like, F him,
Yeah.
per se. I went through that. I've met not millions, but I met, a lot of people who are in, my same situation. I've mentored plenty of kids who grow up without their dads around, and emotionally we go through that. But F is not just that particular emotion. It's about, your faith. It's about forgiveness. It's about going through things where you feel like if you do know your father, you feel the fakeness in it where there's broken promises. I went through that. There's frustration that you go through. There's a series of F's that you go through that are emotionally and mentally draining, that I cover in the book, to help people recognize that, hey, you're not alone. I went through the same thing, you went through it too, but you can overcome it. So
Wow.
That's awesome.
I
I
love the
love this.
acronyms.
Yeah.
I felt that by just the title
Yes.
of the book. It
Yes.
just laid that quickly in my spirit.
Yeah.
Mike Lynk, grab that book once again for me, brother. We just getting ready to let it be all about you, although it is all about you and your purpose and what God has want you to do. I want you to tell people what they should be doing right now about this book. I love it. Take a look, folks. I want you to
all
get this
right,
book.
everybody. First and foremost, it would be definitely great if you could, go and get a copy, especially those who grew up in single parent homes, as well. The title of the book is F Father's Day. I also want to make the point out. I think it'll be a good book for single mothers to read as well. There's a particular chapter in the book that I kind of highlight my mother and just how she handled. Just the situation of her children not growing up without their father, and despite his life and the things that he was going through and his behaviors, she never closed the door in a manner where we didn't have the opportunity to create a relationship with my father. She probably would have possibly had every right to, based on the treatment and things that my mom went through. But through all of that, I believe that she saw the greater understanding of my father and his life and him needing to have a connection with his kids, because there was a time when my father, and you'll learn this in the book, there was a time when my father wasn't drinking alcohol or running the streets or indulging in drugs and things like that. And I believe that my mom understood that he was, a good man in general, but his choices in life kind of took him down a different path. And their relationship, it was what it was. But at the end of the day, there are other people who go through the same things, or different situations where the father does not end up being around. But with this book, you can get it off Amazon. You can go there and purchase it as well. Again, September 25th, you'll be able to also have an opportunity to physically get the book as well, because I will be a vendor at the September 25th event as well. You can reach out to me on social media. I'm on Facebook. You can look me up at Mike Lynk on Facebook as well. You can inbox me, or you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Mike Lynk Speaks. Of course, that's Link with a Y as well. You can hit me up on Instagram as well, and I can get you the book. I can physically mail it to you as well. So there again, once again, this is Father's Day, A Story of Reconciliation. And I hope you can enjoy it. It's only 88 pages. It's a good read. And God put it in my heart, in my father's heart, where I turned 28 plus years of absence into 88 pages of a solution. So hopefully people will be able to get something out of this book, and maybe to help some people heal, because that is what our goal was when we created this book.
Powerful. Lady, you got a last remarks? After this, I don't know. You will be in the building.
28 years of absence into 88 years of...
I love
88
it.
pages. 88 pages.
I mean, come on. Mike, can you please put my book on the side? I will see you on the 25th and grab my book.
And we need it signed. I want to get the autographed. Definitely.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
it's the incredible Mr. Mike Lynk. Thank you for joining us, Swag. Appreciate you, King. We'll stay in touch, man. We love you to life. And when you come on the Swag, you're a family member.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think Lady D is going to put the wall of family members up here behind us soon. Right. when she do her podcast segment, Health, Wealth, and Legacies. And I think that legacy, we need to bring you back on that also. Yeah. My brother, we salute you.
Thank you.
And we stay in touch. Love you.
Sir.
Swag. World famous Swag in the morning. Yeah, that was Mike Lynk. I was blown away, lady.
I'm still speechless. I am just still
an incredible gift. Talk about it. Yeah. Who does that? But a child of God, who does that? Does that? That's Father's Day. Get your copy now, Amazon.com, and you can come meet him personally, shake his hand, take some selfies with him September the 25th at the Walton Center inside of Union Baptist Church, where the My Life Matters play is going on. He's going to have a table. I'm going to make sure he gets a table somehow up front somewhere, lady, because y'all want people to get this book.
That's right. I love the fact that he said it's for single moms as well.
I know that you was kicking. You was like, aha.
Yeah, I love it, because I'm like, it's always been in me. I see, we look on Facebook sometime and I see these posts, and you you put your business out there, and I'm looking like, come on, let's not do that, because it hurt the children. It does. Forget it. You made that choice to be with him, or you made that choice to be with her, but now you want to put the kids in it, and they have absolutely nothing to do with it. And then we create all these issues for them, and then wonder why they're so upset, why they're so angry, because we set them up.
And you know what? I missed a few of my bullet questions about how is his family, how did that impact or strengthen his relationship with his children, and if there's children. So I was just blown away by the story.
Right.
Like his story is so intrigued, man, to the point where I'm going to talk to, I'm gonna pass the name and tag the name to Lynn Gibson, who's the president of Peachtree International Village Film Festival down in Atlanta, and they doing films. It's my bro, man, and yeah.
So I
can see that, and he's a camera dude, so he should know.
Yeah,
I see it. I can see it already.
I think that Mike is a good person that I can kind of, because I have a play on the list, a few plays on the list, but Mike is one of those people that I can speak to about my play, Daddy Please.
Yeah. Daddy
Please, and it's get
him into some acting. He's doing the camera stuff, so he may not have a problem with that. I tell you, articulate. And then he's saying, remind me of me. I'm not the super deep dude with the grammar. That's why I got you, Lady D. But at the end of the day, when we tell our truth and tell our story, there's no one you can't tell me you should have said the when it's then. Like, no, I'm gonna say the way I need to say, and I'm very passionate. And I know, man, I can feel him. He's very passionate about what he's doing. Yeah. Man, I feel like I pulled him out to her. Right?
I think you did.
Yeah,
I think your finger got a little happy, and I was like, wait. I wanted to hear what he had to say. I don't think I hit you hard enough.
Hey, look, he's a partner. I know I say vendor, but he's a partner of the swag in the morning. He's a partner at My Life Matters. And look, I got another day.
So you saying what he had to say, we don't need to hear you. It's just gonna be
what it is, lady. I'm into marketing also. Okay. I need you to get the book. There's more. Because Mike is probably so passionate, man. And he was very cool. He was slow and moving, without giving it all away. His moms and his single moms. And so he market so perfect because women buy books. Women would go out and buy books. And so at the end of the day, he's right. That store, his mom's not closing that door is why he was able to write that book.
So important.
Trust me, if it wasn't for her not closing the door, there would be no book.
So even with that, so listen, so when you said that, I thought about this. His mom never closed the door on that situation, right? So he was able to write a book. So what about the ones who are closing the doors? What are we closing the doors on? Where could our children be if we don't close the door? Let them make the decision. Let whoever, let them be who they are, and your children will see, and they will be able to make those decisions.
Yes, indeed. Because we're in that same situation, sort of, kind of, even with our babies. We got the best bonus family in the world. Like, absolutely. And that's just it, man. Yeah. Like, I've not been perfect. Yeah. And so I can understand what his dad was possibly going through, man, and where you're struggling. And just imagine, like, I think me and Jason Speller always talk about this, the trauma that people face. Mm-hmm. Like, you'd be surprised the post-traumatic stress disorder is not just military. Right. We all face trauma. And he could have been traumatized at 12, not seeing no male figure. Yeah. I'm not for sure of his uncles or who's in his life. But me and Spellbound, we always talk about that. Real talk about the trauma you could be facing by those things. Mm-hmm. Parents on drugs or whatever the case may be. Yeah. Man, that's what My Life Matter does, lady. Now he got me back hype. Like, I was losing I'm glad that Mike had a great story. I preserved my voice, but now I am excited to get that book, put that book in the Swag Book Club. And then when we come back and announce a lot of things, reading these books, I'm telling you, he inspired me.
I really think, that, we should have, we'll have a segment, or we'll have a show Just talking to I just want to talk to the single parents.
Yeah.
The single parents who are caught up in all of that, because I really just feel like some things you just need to let go. Me myself, I'm like, I just never been that person. I'm not doing that to my kid. My kid is already going to go through enough because daddy's not here. I am not going to be the one that's going to stress them all the way out because I'm bitter. I'm angry. No, absolutely not. I made a mistake.
Mm-hmm. And I agree.
And then you just let it, you let it go. You let it go and let your kids go ahead and let them be a part of your kids' life,
Exactly. So, lady, I was just sitting there thinking, but this can be also a lesson for kids or parents who are in the house together where kids don't get it. They're so ungrateful to the point where he never had a father.
Yeah.
And you have a mom and a dad in the crib and you tripping.
Yeah.
And sometimes that becomes a peer pressure thing. We got to keep our watch on that. And you got to understand, we try our best as parents to do. We're not all perfect.
No.
And so it doesn't mean the absence doesn't, because you're present doesn't automatically make it so easy to raise your children.
Right.
There's a battle because they got to go outside and they got to pick up things, from outside in the world. And then you got to come in and you're fighting that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people think that's why, I can see him in the movie. I can see him in your play. I can see it, man. Man, I'm glad he's a vendor. I'm glad he's a partner. Yeah. And you have his book on deck at September the 25th.
Whole nother show.
Man, that's almost our time, lady, man. He did what he had to do. And I'm so grateful that he was able to join us, man.
Right.
Mike Lynk, get that book, F Father's Day.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
F Father's Day.
It's not even the F that we think.
He made it. I love the fact that he made it like that.
Yeah, they'll grab it just because it says that. They'll grab it, and then when they grab it, they don't have no idea what they put their hands on.
And I'm telling you right now, I brought some singers with me, right?
They call the artist
kept war. The journal.
They're gonna sing, but
before they journal, do that, he kept
do this.
Falling apart.
Watch me, haters. Watch me later.
I fell in love.
See, I'm 4 times.
That's my brother.
So watch my
matter of fact, I think he's my cousin. Not brother. I think he's my cousin.
Snapchat on me all day. My life matters to him. Let's go, man.
More famous swag in the morning. We talking about My Life Matters. And this is the single, actually it released on Spotify and Apple Music or iTunes. I'm launched with partnership with United Masters on the 22nd or the 23rd of this month. So y'all can get it, download the entire song, support the movie, stream it in partnership with United Masters. Re-release thanks to Mike Artis, Cherry Mitchell, Maya Young, you Lady D, and my partner in Crizine, my road dog, always riding, Professor, aka Shamonique, Sharice. Thanks to them, man. That was the Artist of War. A lot of levels. A lot of levels of My Life Matters. Never been the same. I can recall when Mike was Marcus. Talk to him, Sharice. Dropped it from the sky. Talking about racial injustice. That's when that was at its peak. And we were doing it all on the stage with no set. It's coming out, dropping from the sky, popping out of the heavens. And it just got better and better. My Lord, My Life Matters. It's our time. Till next Thursday. We love y'all to life. And there's nothing you can do about it but love us back. We out of here. Get your tickets right now. Get your tickets right now. Get your tickets. Go on my page or her page or swag page, and I got a discount. It's a family discount. Click the link, or you can go on your own at eventbrite.com and search My Life Matters in Virginia Beach. It's World Famous Swag in the morning. I'm Prince Creek.
And I'm Lady D.
We ghost, lady.
Yeah.
We have to live together. We have to love each other, because in the end, we're all we've got. Pull you down now.
Control your mind now.
Can't let him hurt you, 'cause he buys you nice things. Can't let him beat you down now. Trust in the Lord and you love yourself even more. My life is to you, Lord. My life. Oh, yeah, yeah, my life is to you, but my life it matters to you, Lord, and only you. My life.
In his image and in his likeness, you and I were created masterfully, wonderfully, and fearfully. He made us with plans for a future that included every man, every woman, every boy, and every girl. You see, with God, no one was ever excluded from his world. He said, love thy neighbor as we love ourselves. That means black man, white man, and everyone else.
Equally yoked music. Zone Black. The artist of war.